Hello, YouTube, tabletop players, board gamers, and fans of Marvel United. Welcome to Two Players, One Review. I am Alan.
My name's Matthew, and today we are reviewing Black Dwarf from the Infinity Gauntlet box.
Black Dwarf is one of the children of Thanos. In the box, it gives you a little campaign to play, and his goal is to track down the Infinity Stones. Your job is to stop him.
Which is a really cool mechanic because the Infinity Stones gets added into his deck, and throughout the campaign, he collects them. So Thanos will be very difficult to fight if you cannot stop them from collecting all the stones.
And we will do a breakdown in another video about the actual campaign, how the stones work. Today we want to focus on this guy.
He seems very simple on the surface, but when you get more in depth into it, he can actually deal some good damage.
So let's take a look at him real quick. So looking at his dashboard, his special rule, when a player is KO'd, Black Dwarf does not activate his BAM. Instead, he plays another Master Plan card.
That's very strong because
it's not face down, it's face up. You're activating the next card. So he does multiple actions in a row.
So if everyone's at 1 health and he gets one of you, most likely he's going to get both of you too.
Combo and chain. His BAM, pretty straightforward. He does 1 damage to each hero in his location. On the surface, seems pretty light and easy. Can cause trouble.
He definitely has some threats that make it a lot stronger and a lot harder to deal with.
And then his overflow rule: if one or more civilian or thug token cannot be added to a location, deal 1 damage to each hero in that location. Again, his goal,
that's not bad.
3 damage, 2 damage at a time. Actually, not even 2, just 1 damage at a time.
I mean, that's not even bad because usually it specifies how many can't be placed, so that's not bad there.
True. His health, for 2 players, he has 6 life. For 3 players, he has 9. And for 4 players, he has 12. So he focuses on one thing, dealing damage. And honestly, he does it well.
He does it very well.
Taking a look at his deck real quick. We got a pretty simple 2 BAM, add some thugs. We've got a 3 no BAM, add civilians. A 1 BAM, add civilians.
And that is a lot that he's adding right there because there's no BAM, but that card definitely gains some overflow.
Moves around the board quickly and fills up those locations. 4 BAM, add thugs. A 2 BAM, add civilians. A 1 BAM, add thugs. And just in case you're trying to chase him down, he's got a 0, doesn't move, but he does BAM.
Or you could think the opposite. You can move into his location thinking he's going to move out, and then he just BAMs right on top of you.
Yep. So his ability cards, he has 2 healing factor. Black Dwarf heals up to 3 health, up to his starting value. If he is at full health, deal 1 damage to each hero in his location instead.
Again, planking damage or healing. So either way, that card is pretty good.
Whether you get early game or late game, it could do something different, but it's still going to affect the game.
I mean, even if they get that turn 1, that's I mean, he's going to be in your location.
Potentially. Yeah,
well,
3.
Yeah, 3 is...
He would. He'd move halfway around the board. Last, filling out his deck, Axe Swing. Deal 1 damage to each hero in his, Black Dwarfs, and adjacent locations.
That's a definite surprise attack. Again, if you're trying to be in his location thinking he's going to move out, then he pulls that. That's surprising. That surprises you.
What did surprise me with this guy is I look at his dashboard, I look at his BAM, I'm thinking he's doing 1 damage. No big deal.
That's not very much.
But he's got his cards that do splash, his healing factor, if he's at full life already, he just does more damage. And his threats, which we're going to get into now, do even more damage. But he's got 2 super tough. As long as at least 1 super tough is in play, he ignores 1 damage each turn.
That's definitely a good tank ability. Like that can be very, very good, because even if you're trying to deal 2 a turn, it only goes down to 1.
Yeah, it's something you got to clear right away.
Mm-hmm.
So that's where you're using your heroics. You're not. You have to balance the civilians and the threats, but it needs to get off the board.
It needs to. I mean, even if you don't worry about that early in the game, later game, you definitely want to use your heroics on that one.
Or use it on this one. He's got 2 chain hammers.
That one's brutal.
As long as at least 1 is in play, so you got to clear both to get rid of the effect. Again, Black Dwarf's BAM also deals 1 damage to each hero in adjacent locations.
That that you should get first.
So that means as long as both these are either one of these 2 threats are in play, he's doing splash damage to half the board. And it's not a hero.
It's the location.
It's each hero in his and adjacent. So it gets pretty vicious pretty quick.
I mean, if that's in play, he's doing 1 damage to half the board easily.
Yeah, every BAM.
Every single one.
And then just to round off what he does, charge.
More damage.
More damage. If you're in that location and he lands there, you're taking the damage. And most likely he's going to BAM as well.
Because he's going to BAM to deal 1 there, and then he's going to land there to deal 1. So that's 2 damage if he lands there while you're in there, and that's a BAM.
Mm-hmm.
That's 2 damage just based on landing in your location. And if you get KO'd from that 2 damage, he's going to draw another Master Plan card.
And go after the next guy.
Mm-hmm. So he does very, very good damage. He can rack up his damage quick. He's tanky with the toughness. And the overflow really isn't that bad.
Again, it's 1 damage. It's not the worst overflow.
If it's in your location, you get damage. That's not. But again, it's plinking damage. It's extra mental damage to get him to the KO for the special rule.
See, I found the overflow easier to manage, keeping his thugs and civilians off the board.
He doesn't like,
as opposed to his chain hammer, which you have a 50% chance he's going to be BAMing in your location.
Yeah, chain hammer is definitely his worst threat. I would say his worst threat's definitely chain hammer.
Super tough, you don't need to worry about until you get to where you can damage him. That's getting more of a mid to late game.
And in charge, you can control where you're going to land.
Yeah, don't end your turn in that location.
Just don't end your turn in that location, basically. Mm-hmm. Because if you do, there's a chance you might take a damage. Mm-hmm. You might BAM on top of that, and then deal more damage.
Mm-hmm. And then, but what we found ourselves doing after he absolutely destroyed us the first game was going through and targeting the chain hammers.
We did not do that the first game.
No, we learned.
We learned, because that's brutal.
Yeah, hitting each hero in all adjacent locations. He surprised us.
Because again, his BAM
looks simple.
It's not anything special.
No.
But once you pair it with all the axe swing and all the health recovery and the charge and the chain hammer, he can deal good damage.
He does one thing and he does it well. He deals damage.
Yeah, he's a very strong damage dealer. I mean, he's got 9 health. We played 3, so he had 9. So having the tough out with 9 health, that's tougher to do.
And again, the challenge with both of these, the super tough and the chain hammer, is as long as either one is in play.
It's not.
You have to clear both to get rid of the status buff for him. Mm-hmm. Overall, like I said, I went into it reading his dashboard, thinking it was real simple, 1 damage, no big deal, be easy. He surprised us. He was fun to play.
Overflow, 1 damage. But again, 1 damage, 1 damage, 1 damage. You with 3 life, that adds up really quick.
It does. Mm-hmm. Yeah, overall, a fun villain to play. Not a pushover at all.
No, not at all.
And a great introduction for us into the Infinity box.
We thought we were going to beat him easily and move on to the next one. We were wrong. I would dare say that he gave us the biggest challenge of this box. I would say so.
Mm-hmm. But we'll talk about Thanos later.
We'll talk about him later.
Perfect. Well, hope that gives you some information about Black Dwarf and a little bit of advice on what to target first.
Definitely the trained hammer.
And I wish you guys the best of luck in your adventures.
Good luck to you.
Thanks for watching. Hope you liked it. Click subscribe, click like, and we'll see you on the next one.
We'll see you next time.
Thank you.